Welcome to Awakening Archives. This is the sanctuary where we gently lift the veil between dimensions, where we recall the wisdom held in the Akashic records, which the SC taps into directly, and where the threads of quantum consciousness meet the ancient texts of the soul. We do not instruct here, we simply remember together, utilizing the collected wisdom drawn from the deep trance state of quantum healing hypnosis technique. Our work is anchored entirely in the shared recollections gathered across thousands of sessions witnessed by Dolores Cannon from the pioneering work that mapped the landscapes of the life between lives, between death and life, to the specialized knowledge of planetary transition, the 3 waves of volunteers and the new Earth, and the multidimensional complexity detailed in the convoluted universe. We are here to decode the blueprints of the eternal self, using the vocabulary of the SC, bringing the light of context to the shadow of human experience. The subconscious tells us that all information is vibration, and the only barrier is the conscious filter. When we speak of these truths, we are simply resonating with the part of you that already holds the memory. If you have found yourself resonating with these deeper questions, if the surface reality is no longer enough, and you feel the magnetic pull of a greater mission, you are in the right space. You are already awakening. The SC led you here. If you are ready to remember these truths with us, hit subscribe and the bell to ensure you never miss a cosmic recall. Let the memory flow and let the knowing settle within your bones, bypassing the questioning mind. By the close of our journey today, you will possess a profound clarity regarding the sacred architecture of your own path as unveiled by the SC. We will give voice to the deeper intentions of your soul, replacing human confusion with divine logic. We will decode the 3 core magnificent reasons a soul willingly selects a life of maximum friction, including the massive expansion on the volunteer contract, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd waves that is being fulfilled by so many highly sensitive individuals on the planet right now. We will uncover the hidden truth of karmic acceleration, which the SC views as a highly efficient, time-saving strategy, and the specific architectural signs embedded in your current reality that prove this life was a deliberate, powerful choice. Furthermore, we will reveal the principle of the hidden safety net, the quiet safeguards your soul wrote into the blueprint to ensure the struggle educates you but never destroys you. The SC always protects the client, and we recall that protection extends to the blueprint itself. We will speak of the unique frequency required for the planetary shift, the transcendent resonance, which is the master key to converting personal pain into collective service. This perspective will fundamentally shift your understanding of past and current struggles from random, chaotic cruelty into a sacred, deliberate commitment to spiritual mastery. It will grant you the profound peace that comes from knowing that even in the deepest darkness, you are perfectly fulfilling the path you yourself designed. The journey is not happening to you, it is unfolding through you, with sovereign intention guided by the highest aspect of yourself. Stay close. The greatest revelation, the knowledge that transforms pain into your highest purpose, is yet to unfold. The ancient whispers of the soul are stirring within you today, carrying a resonance from a place that is not yet fully physical, a space of pure, unclouded knowing. There is a quiet, immutable truth that resides beyond the clamor of our daily lives, a truth accessible only when the human mind is gently bypassed. This is the understanding that this human journey, with its specific triumphs and its most devastating heartaches, is not arbitrary. It is instead a meticulous, self-authored script, a work of profound, intentional spiritual engineering designed by the omniscient part of your being, which Dolores Cannon termed the subconscious SC, or the Oversoul fragment. We have been conditioned by the surface world, by the pervasive 3D density, to believe that life simply happens to us. This belief system, the paradigm of the victim, is the deepest illusion of separation and the primary obstacle to true healing. We assign blame to fate, to others, or to circumstance. We seek external salvation, and we rarely look inward for the ultimate accountability, the sacred responsibility of the eternal self. But what if the most challenging, the most profoundly defining moments of your life, the inexplicable losses, the relentless illnesses, the deep, pervasive sense of alienation were not random misfortune, but pre-selected cosmic lessons? What if the gravity of your suffering is merely a measure of the incredible, ambitious design that your soul etched into its own blueprint before the descent into form? This is not philosophical conjecture. It is a core, repeated memory. Across the vast growing archive of quantum healing hypnosis technique transcripts, gathered over decades of dedicated work, a consistent, immutable narrative emerges. When the human mind is bypassed and the SC takes control, this vast, all-knowing part of the self, it reveals the moment of choice. The SC confirms that the soul chooses its life. It chooses the parents, the era, the geography, and critically, the magnitude of the difficulty. Clients speaking through their SC describe the interdimensional staging ground as a serene space, often featuring a vast shimmering library or a viewing screen where various lives are presented as potential energy paths. The choice is made with perfect, detached logic. The SC views the trauma of the physical body with absolute compassion, but absolute neutrality, recognizing it only as a tool of experience. Why would an eternal being, free from suffering, dwelling in the perfect light of Source, willingly choose the path of maximum friction? The answer lies in the principle of accelerated evolution, a core theme running through the Convoluted Universe series. The soul is an engine of pure, relentless growth, and Earth, in its current state of extreme density and duality, is the high-pressure crucible where millennia of learning can be compressed into a single, intensely rich lifetime. The SC understands that the only true spiritual currency is experience, and the most concentrated, rapidly transformative form of experience comes through stark contrast. It requires friction to produce heat, and heat to forge the metal.
The advanced soul, having already mastered the basic lessons of duality, often seeks out the most complex challenges to achieve a higher degree of specialization and dimensional capacity. The SC speaks of the need to gather emotional data that is only available through intense contrast. The soul does not fear pain. It recognizes pain as a catalyst, a powerful lever for quantum spiritual shift. The memory we are recalling today is this: the hardest lives are chosen by the most advanced, courageous souls. They do not come for comfort. Comfort leads to stagnation, a pleasant pause in growth. They come for catalysis, the quantum reaction of the spirit that forces immediate, irreversible, and geometric transformation. They come because they are seeking to master the highest levels of spiritual alchemy, the transformation of the densest fear into the purest light of wisdom and love. This is the truth that honors your struggle. This is the key that unlocks your true power. The intensity of your experience is merely the signpost of the magnitude of your purpose. Stay with us as we move through the archives and decode the divine logic revealed by the SC, the logic that transforms suffering into spiritual gold. We will recall the exact criteria used by the soul to select a high difficulty path, and reveal how that selection is your greatest badge of honor.
Let us journey now to the space before the physical, the life between lives. The subconscious describes this realm as home, a place of pure, intelligent light, a consciousness reservoir where all fragments are unified. This is the interdimensional staging ground for all terrestrial experience. Often described by clients under QHHT as a crystalline city of thought or an astral classroom, surrounded by the soul group and the wise elders, sometimes referred to simply as the guides or the council. In this timeless space, free from the constraints of linear time, the soul reviews its entire journey across the eons. The clarity is absolute, unclouded by the emotional baggage of the ego. It sees past lives not as successes or failures, but as data acquisitions, vast libraries of experience gathered across differing densities and dimensional planes. It observes the energetic imbalances, the karmic threads left loose. The subconscious explains that these threads are merely patterns of energy seeking completion and neutralization, energetic debts the soul willingly chooses to resolve to attain a state of true lightness and freedom. The soul recognizes that any unresolved energy will continue to attract similar circumstances until the wisdom of balance is attained. The subconscious emphasizes that these karmic ties are not divine punishment, but essential physics, and the soul seeks to master these laws by resolving them swiftly. With the compassionate, detached guidance of the subconscious and the elders, the soul begins to draft the blueprint for the next journey.
This blueprint, drawn with intense precision, is a highly sophisticated probability matrix outlining a set of circumstances, primary relationships, the soul contracts, and emotional environments designed to ensure specific maximum growth. The subconscious is clear. The tougher the lesson, the more precisely the conditions must be set. The soul does not rely on chance. It relies on energetic certainty, knowing that the external reality will perfectly mirror the internal needs for growth. The complexity of the chosen life reflects the seniority and courage of the soul preparing for descent, a testament to its confidence in its own eternal resilience. The subconscious confirms that Earth, especially during this specific juncture of accelerated change, is highly valued because its extreme density and duality offer maximum contrast and catalyst. The soul chooses the difficult path for three primary, courageous, and sovereign reasons, confirming the magnificent ambition behind the struggles we face. The imperative of balance, karmic completion, the unraveling. This is the choice to rapidly face and transmute the energetic density accrued in prior lives, bringing a pattern to a final, permanent closure. This is not arbitrary punishment, but the fundamental law of energy seeking resolution, balance. The subconscious will often heal chronic illnesses in the physical body by revealing the precise past life cause, a direct application of karmic completion. For example, a lifelong throat problem might be traced back to a prior life where the soul suppressed a crucial truth, and the current life is chosen to force the expression of that truth under duress, demanding authentic self-expression. The deep, inexplicable fear of water may trace back to a drowning, chosen to be faced again to transmute the fear into acceptance of transition. A profound karmic choice, often seen in the transcripts, involves the selection of a specific disability or illness that mirrors the past life's transgression. If the soul in a prior life was carelessly cruel toward a body, theirs or another's, the current blueprint may include a physical limitation that demands the mastering of compassion and patience for the physical form. The soul chooses the intense, focused clearing over the slow, gradual decay of unresolved energy, seeking karmic equilibrium in one swift, decisive plunge to free itself for higher dimensional service. This concentrated effort is a strategic choice for accelerated graduation. The soul understands that delaying this balancing act only prolongs the spiritual journey. Thus, the bravest souls select the most compressed, intense path toward energetic neutrality. This process ensures the soul does not carry heavy 3D residue into the emerging 5D frequency. The intensity of the current suffering is frequently a direct measure of the soul's commitment to resolving a very ancient, recurring pattern. The imperative of purity, specialization, and mastery. The forge. This imperative is driven by the soul's desire to master a specific high-frequency virtue that remains elusive. The subconscious often explains that the soul has mastered simple virtues, but now seeks purity and application, a state of transcendence where the virtue is maintained regardless of external chaos.
For instance, maintaining inner peace not just in a quiet room, but in the center of an emotional earthquake. The soul needs to acquire specialized emotional data that only intense contrast can provide. A life of financial ruin may be chosen to master non-attachment and the realization of abundance from within the self, shifting the source of security from the material world to the infinite inner resource. A life of chronic pain may be chosen to master unconditional self-love and radical acceptance of the physical form, forcing the consciousness to identify with its eternal nature rather than its temporary vessel. The challenging life is the essential training ground for the higher virtues, where the spirit is tested against fire to refine its essence into a flawless, unassailable quality. The soul seeks to be the master of emotion, not the subject of it. This mastery is critical because the 5D reality operates entirely on purity of thought and emotion, and the soul must train to hold these high vibrations effortlessly. The imperative of planetary service, the volunteer, the lightworker contract. This is perhaps the most significant revelation from the archives of Dolores Cannon's work, detailed extensively in The 3 Waves of Volunteers and the New Earth and Keepers of the Garden. A vast number of advanced, non-Earth native souls chose to incarnate specifically at this time, the great planetary shift, to assist in the transition from 3D density to 5D frequency. The subconscious categorizes these souls into 3 waves based on their arrival and mission, and the difficulty of their lives is tied directly to the nature of their assignment. The first wave souls, older and more experienced than Earth native souls, feel the greatest density, often suffering from deep, inexplicable depression or intense culture shock, driven by an overwhelming wish to return home to a place of unified thought. Their primary task was to be pioneers and energetic anchors, simply by being here and holding a higher frequency, providing the initial energetic foundation for the shift. Their difficulty comes from the sheer weight of the 3D vibration on their highly refined systems. The second wave souls are quieter, less noticeable, and often avoid social interaction, finding traditional Earth life overwhelming. Their mission is purely energetic, to be beacons or channels of light. They anchor the new energy through their mere presence and stillness, acting as silent transmitters of higher consciousness. Their challenge lies in severe social alienation and difficulty forming conventional bonds, as their energy signature is so different from the masses. The third wave souls, the newest and youngest, are the system breakers and transformers, here to step into positions of influence and actively change the old structures. They often exhibit extraordinary abilities, but also face deep challenges in focus and socialization due to the density they willingly carry. The SC notes that their difficulty is internal, as they struggle to reconcile their high-frequency intelligence with the low-frequency, rigid systems they came to dismantle. Their lives are often defined by intense difficulty and discomfort by design, because they must navigate the extreme density and fear of the current collective reality, while simultaneously holding the light of the new Earth blueprint. They are willingly taking on the planetary density to transmute it. Their mission is one of pure service, sacrificing an easy incarnation for the benefit of the whole planet's ascension. The hardship is not a flaw in the design. It is the precise calibration required to fulfill the soul's most ambitious curriculum. A curriculum that is often planet-wide in scope, ensuring that the planet can successfully divide into the two new frequencies.
The hard life functions as a highly specialized spiritual technology. It is designed to shatter the illusions of the ego and force the consciousness back to its source-aligned core. The friction is the necessary heat that burns away the dross of illusion, revealing the immutable light of the spirit. The subconscious SC reveals this process to be a form of accelerated distillation designed to extract the maximum essence of wisdom and frequency adjustment from the raw material of experience, fulfilling the contract made in the life between lives with sovereign intent. A. The activation of the gift and the surrender, the quantum necessity. The subconscious repeatedly confirms the intrinsic link between profound trauma and the sudden, explosive unlocking of powerful spiritual gifts and psychic abilities. When the life structures collapse, the loss of job, health, or loved one, the physical mind's reliance on the dense, predictable 3D reality is irrevocably severed. The ego's dominance is shattered, replaced by an urgent existential need for a higher power. This desperate searching shoves the personality past the usual defensive mechanisms, and the deeper psychic structures often ignite in response. The mind, having been humbled and recognizing its own powerlessness in the face of the pre-planned catalyst, is finally ready to receive the vast knowledge held by the subconscious. The dark night of the soul, which is a frequent and necessary feature in high-difficulty blueprints, is the soul's mechanism for purification. It is the crucible where the self is forced to reckon with its own immortality and sovereign creative power. By systematically stripping away external comfort, material identity, and physical security, the inner eternal reality is forced to become the sole source of strength. The personality, having nowhere left to turn, finally collapses into the embrace of the subconscious. This act of surrender is not defeat. It is the ultimate spiritual victory, the ego relinquishing its control to the wisdom of the omniscient self, realizing that only the SC holds the answers and the healing codes. The moment of collapse is the trigger for spiritual necessity, forcing the consciousness to apply true cosmic law, often resulting in sudden, profound, and permanent healing when the SC intervenes to remove the root cause of physical ailment traced back to a prior life or an emotional blockage in the current life. The SC clarifies that the moment of deepest trauma is often the very moment the soul intended for the memory of its true power to resurface. The intensity of the pain is merely the measure of the distance the ego had traveled from source. The collapse is the rapid closure of that distance, ensuring the full activation of the soul's original mission parameters. Furthermore, the SC often describes the body as a tuning fork, and the trauma acts as a sharp blow designed to retune the frequency. Many volunteers carry unique gifts, but these gifts are often blocked by the fear and density of 3D life. The planned crisis forces the system into an override mode, allowing the higher frequency codes to download directly into the cellular structure, activating latent abilities such as instantaneous knowing, energy healing, or high-level channeling. The difficulty of the life, therefore, is directly proportional to the magnitude of the gift intended to be awakened. The greater the potential light, the greater the shadow required to force its full emergence. This process of forced surrender is the soul's most efficient bypass mechanism for the skeptical, fearful human mind. The soul chooses the maximum friction because it knows the resulting spiritual eruption will be powerful enough to clear decades of density and stagnation in a single moment of clarity.
The physical system is intentionally pushed to its limit so that the energetic system must take over. From the SC's vast, non-linear perspective, a human lifetime is a fleeting opportunity that must be utilized with maximum efficiency. The challenging life is prized because it creates the most intense, maximum contrast, and this contrast accelerates growth exponentially. It is viewed as a compressed training program where the intensity of emotional swing, the rapid shifts between pain and insight, creates a deep, permanent imprint of wisdom within the soul's energetic memory banks. The SC confirms that this is the fastest way to download complex emotional data and achieve karmic acceleration. The SC views a soul's timeline as a series of lessons, and the difficulty of the life chosen is a careful calculation of data acquisition speed. A pleasant, low-contrast life may take 10 incarnations to fully master patience and non-judgment. A difficult life, fraught with betrayal, waiting, and systemic challenge, can achieve that mastery in one concentrated span. The friction is not intended to slow you down. It is intended to create the quantum leap in consciousness that might otherwise take hundreds of years of linear time. The goal is to maximize the ratio of wisdom gained per physical moment, a spiritual economy of scale necessary for the rapid evolution of the universe and the fulfillment of the cosmic plan. The SC often justifies the inclusion of intense suffering by noting that the soul will have access to the memory of that wisdom forever, long after the physical pain is released. The ultimate objective is to make the soul self-correcting and self-knowing under any possible pressure, thereby ensuring its capacity to hold the 5D frequency effortlessly regardless of the environment. The SC views this as a strategic investment of a dense incarnation for massive, enduring spiritual returns. The SC often reveals a concept known as dimensional leap integration, DLI, where the difficult life is designed not just to resolve past karma, but to prepare the nervous system for functioning in a higher dimension. The intense emotional and physical challenges act as a constant form of energetic conditioning, forcing the body to hold a higher vibrational frequency than its environment. This intense training is necessary for the volunteers who must integrate 5D light into a 3D reality, a process that is inherently straining and often results in unexplained physical maladies like fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue. The difficult life, therefore, is a pre-programmed activation sequence for the body's latent light capacity. This strain on the physical system is the necessary friction to permanently imprint the new higher frequency into the cellular memory, making the shift to the new earth permanent and effortless for that soul. This quantum compression of spiritual education is the ultimate act of efficiency. The soul is betting its energy on its own capacity for rapid geometric learning, using the intensity of the human condition as a spiritual time machine.
This commitment to extreme growth is the signature of an ancient, wise, and incredibly powerful Oversoul fragment. As part of the volunteer mission, specialized souls choose to incarnate directly into systems of intense imbalance, dysfunctional families, regions of historical trauma, or oppressive social structures, acting as energetic transformers. Their purpose is not to fix the system with external force, but to endure its lower vibrations while maintaining an internal higher truth, a pure, unwavering signal of unity and love. The SC explains that by making choices rooted in love, forgiveness, and integrity, despite the negative, fear-based environment, the soul subtly transmutes the dense energy of the entire lineage or collective field through their own auric field. They are the light sinks, absorbing the negativity and transforming it through their conscious high-frequency response. This process is deeply taxing on the physical vessel, often leading to unexplainable fatigue or chronic illness that resolves instantly when the SC is directed to release the collective absorbed energy. This is a quiet, profound act of service, a form of spiritual sacrifice, not in the victim sense, but in the service sense, that is rarely acknowledged in the human timeline. This choice is an act of immense, selfless love for humanity and a fulfillment of the commitment to planetary awakening. The difficulty of these lives is the necessary cost of the energetic transfer. These souls are often the custodians of lineage healing, tasked with clearing centuries of karmic density that otherwise would prevent the entire family line from transitioning to the new Earth frequency. Their personal suffering serves a vast, intergenerational purpose. The SC sometimes refers to this process as clearing the planetary dross. The volunteers are utilizing their physical bodies as complex processors to filter the collective fear and trauma, allowing the Earth to shed its old frequency skin. The choice of a difficult life, therefore, is a direct contract of service to Gaia. The soul knew that a quiet, easy life would not generate the necessary energetic output to assist the larger collective shift. The struggle is the work, and the transmutation is the successful completion of the volunteer mission. This highest level of difficulty is the signature of a soul that has achieved mastery and now returns solely for the benefit of others.
The blueprint of a hard life, as revealed by the subconscious SC in the deepest trance states, possesses distinct architectural signatures. These are not random flaws in the human experience. They are precisely engineered points of friction or signposts that allow us to identify purpose within the struggle. They are the clear evidence that tells us this is a chosen curriculum, not an accidental path. The presence of these markers is a direct reflection of the soul's immense confidence in its own capacity for ultimate spiritual victory. The loop of repetition, karmic density, the unavoidable exam. If you observe the same patterns recurring, the same difficult relationships that end in abandonment, the same financial setbacks that wipe out stability, the same core wound being triggered by different external actors, this is not arbitrary cruelty. It is the soul presenting the unresolved lesson with increased urgency, like a compassionate yet unwavering teacher who will not let you skip the chapter you need to master. The SC reveals that the pattern will repeat until the energy of the pattern is transmuted, until the internal response shifts from painful reactive behavior to conscious, wise, and detached action. The intensity of the loop escalates because the soul is trying to ensure the lesson cannot be ignored by the dense, distracted ego. This is a critical feature of the high-difficulty blueprint. A soul may have carried the energy of betrayal across 10 lifetimes, only lightly touching the lesson each time. In a compressed,
high-difficulty life, the SC designs a single incarnation where betrayal is guaranteed to happen multiple times with increasing severity. The goal is to force the consciousness to finally understand that the betrayal is not external, but an internal resonance that must be neutralized through forgiveness and detachment. The SC emphasizes that you cannot graduate until you have changed your energetic response to the catalyst, achieving true non-resistance. Non-resistance in this context does not mean allowing yourself to be abused, but recognizing the energetic pattern, extracting the wisdom, and refusing to resonate with the fear it offers. It is the sovereign choice to step out of the karmic loop and into the frequency of unconditional love, thereby cutting the thread permanently. This loop is the soul's final exam. Passing it means the soul can jettison that dense pattern forever as it prepares for the 5D frequency. This signature confirms that the most persistent suffering is simply the sign of the most valuable final lesson. It is the soul saying, "This pattern ends now." The absence of a safety net, reliance on SC power, the forced sovereignty. Another common signature of the advanced blueprint is the absence of a safety net. Souls often select incarnations where traditional exterior support, family wealth, institutional safety, or societal stability is deliberately weak or catastrophically absent. The sudden loss of wealth, the inexplicable failure of a long-term business, or the lack of emotional support from the immediate family are not accidents. They are orchestrated removal of the false supports the ego relies upon. This is a profound setup to force the individual to rely exclusively on their inner divinity and the wisdom of the subconscious. By removing the exterior scaffolding, the inner spiritual scaffolding must be built, the true, eternal structure of the self. This is a direct test of faith in one's own source connection, the ultimate exercise in self-sovereignty and conscious creation. The SC confirms that many high-level volunteers choose this path because they must learn to manifest purely from their own energy, independent of 3D systems. They need this rigorous training to prepare for the new earth, which will operate solely on the energy of thought and pure intention, without the old 3D currency and societal structures. The soul must become utterly convinced of its own creative power through repeated, desperate success. The SC views this as a process of spiritual graduation. When all external supports crumble, the human personality is left with a stark choice: collapse into victimhood, or ignite the inner flame of the eternal self. The courageous soul chooses the latter, transforming dependency into absolute self-trust. The harder the physical life, the stronger the conviction that the real resources reside in the non-physical realm, the realm of the SC. The poverty, the illness, or the abandonment are merely temporary props designed to teach the soul the profound lesson that it is its own source. The contract of isolation, deep reflection, the shielded channel. Many high-growth blueprints, especially for the volunteers and the third-wave souls, feature periods of deep loneliness, alienation, or the feeling of being profoundly different from the surrounding world. This isolation, which can feel like a devastating curse to the personality, is often a deliberate choice by the soul to minimize external noise and distraction. It forces the consciousness inward into the necessary silence and solitude required to fully open the channel to the subconscious and accelerate the inner remembrance. The SC speaks of this isolation as necessary shielding. Volunteers are sensitive, high-frequency transmitters, and immersion in the low-frequency chatter of the collective can contaminate their purpose and drain their energy. The chosen isolation acts as a spiritual quarantine, ensuring their light remains clear and unclouded for their mission, the anchoring of the new earth frequency. The pain of feeling different is simply the byproduct of holding a non-native higher vibration. The soul remembers that it came from a unified place and struggles to adapt to the separation consciousness of Earth. This feeling of being unplugged is the painful cost of being a direct channel to Source. The deepest lessons, the complex, multidimensional concepts found in the convoluted universe, can only be accessed in a state of profound solitude, where the ego's noise is silenced. The chosen isolation is a sacred initiation, forcing the consciousness to rely solely on the internal wisdom of the SC and its guides. The loneliness is the final step before the profound realization of cosmic connection, where the soul realizes it is never alone, but is in fact plugged into the entire consciousness grid of the universe. This temporary isolation is the final polishing required before the soul is ready for its ultimate work. The signature of illogical attraction, soul contract resonance. A fourth, less understood signature of the high difficulty blueprint is the signature of illogical attraction. This is seen in the intense, often chaotic relationships the individual is drawn to. Relationships that make no sense to the logical mind, but feel magnetically essential. These are the soul contracts that were meticulously chosen to maximize friction. The SC reveals that these relationships often involve two souls trading roles from a previous traumatic life to finally achieve balance and mutual forgiveness. The soul may choose to repeatedly attract the energetic mirror of its past antagonist, the person who will trigger the deepest wounds. The illogical attraction ensures the lesson is unavoidable. The difficulty of the relationship is a measure of the karmic weight being cleared. These difficult partners are not meant to be permanent companions. They are spiritual catalysts who sign a temporary contract to deliver a concentrated dose of experience. Once the lesson, for example, self-worth, boundary setting, or non-judgment, is learned and the energetic debt is transmuted through forgiveness, the relationship naturally dissolves, often abruptly. The SC makes it clear that judging these contracts from the human perspective leads only to pain. Understanding them from the soul's perspective reveals them as profound acts of mutual service. If you recognize these signatures in your life, the endless loops, the absence of support, the profound isolation, or the chaotic magnetic relationships, know they are not failures. They are the signatures of a high-difficulty soul curriculum. You are the architect, currently engaged in the most challenging and rewarding construction project imaginable.
The intensity of your life is simply a mirror of the magnificence of your soul's mission. And soon, we will unlock the final, most transformative piece of this memory. The subtle way the soul ensures the difficulty never destroys you, only awakens you. We will speak of the silent safeguards written into the blueprint and the power of transcendent resonance, the master key to converting pain into planetary service.
And this brings us to the profound revelation, the immutable truth confirmed repeatedly by the subconscious that shifts the entire perception of suffering and transforms it into a cosmic act of creation. The hardest life chosen by the most resilient soul is not about the pain itself. It is about the frequency shift that the pain necessitates and the ripple effect that shift creates across the universal fabric of consciousness. We, as eternal beings, are vibration. When we enter a difficult, dense earth experience, the default human response is to lower our frequency to match the circumstances, to feel anger, sadness, despair, and victimhood. But the soul's blueprint has a hidden quantum mechanism designed to override this default response, transcendent resonance. The moment a human being trapped in deep suffering makes the conscious, sovereign choice of gratitude, chooses forgiveness for those who wronged them, or chooses unconditional love despite the external conditions, an impossible quantum event occurs. This is the alchemical shift. That choice, that single defiant act of holding a higher frequency amidst lower density, sends a wave of transformation that ripples not just through the personal timeline, but into the collective consciousness of the planet. The soul has, in that moment, proven that love is stronger than the illusion of density, and that the free will choice toward unity transcends all fear. This is the ultimate cosmic purpose of the hard life, to anchor the new earth frequency. The soul does not choose hardship to be tested by an external force. It chooses hardship to prove to itself and to the universe the unwavering power of its source-aligned nature. The soul chooses to demonstrate that when stripped of all material comfort and all earthly illusion, the inherent light cannot be extinguished. This act of spiritual alchemy is the soul's most prized achievement. It is the ability to take the lead of trauma and transmute it into the gold of unconditional wisdom. As the concept of the new earth, the 5D reality, is explored in the archives of Dolores Cannon's work, we understand that this is a current, massive planetary separation, a division of Earth's consciousness into 3D and 5D realities. The souls capable of holding the highest frequency under the immense pressure, the volunteers, are the very anchors and architects of this new reality. They have performed the necessary purification to withstand and generate the new frequencies required for planetary shift. They are not merely observers, they are the active agents of ascension, paving the energetic path for those who transition. The truth is this: your SC signed the contract because it knew you were capable of victory. The difficulty you face is merely the measure of your pre-incarnation confidence in your own strength and the complexity of the lesson you chose to master. The depth of the challenge is proportional to the vastness of the love required to overcome it. The subconscious who authored the blueprint was not worried about your survival. It was concerned only with your spiritual triumph. The moment you would choose love over fear, light over darkness, proving the ultimate power of consciousness over circumstance. This is the moment of true remembrance and the realization of ultimate sovereignty. The SC confirms that the universe learns through every experience. By choosing a complex, difficult life, you are offering the most valuable data point to the universe, that love and consciousness can transcend any density. You are not only learning, you are teaching the fundamental laws of energy and creation to the cosmos itself. Your struggle is a lesson for galaxies, an energetic blueprint of transcendence. And here is the gentle secret of the safeguards. The soul also designs exit points and guiding forces. The profound spiritual connection you feel, the sudden, inexplicable moments of synchronicity, the books or teachers like this one that arrive precisely when you need them, these are the subtle signs that your guides and your subconscious are upholding their side of the contract. They are the quiet echoes of love whispering, "You are on track, you are not alone, keep going. The end of this lesson is near." You are the warrior. You are the archivist of your own hard-won wisdom. Every scar is a medal, every tear a cleansing rain, preparing you to stand fully in your power and assist in the planet's great shift. The lessons you are learning now are the blueprints for the future.
And this brings us to the profound revelation, the immutable truth, confirmed repeatedly by the subconscious, that shifts the entire perception of suffering and transforms it into a cosmic act of creation. The hardest life, chosen by the most resilient soul, is not about the pain itself. It is about the frequency shift that the pain necessitates and the ripple effect that shift creates across the universal fabric of consciousness. We, as eternal beings, are vibration. When we enter a difficult, dense earth experience, the default human response is to lower our frequency to match the circumstances, to feel anger, sadness, despair, and victimhood. But the soul's blueprint has a hidden quantum mechanism designed to override this default response, transcendent resonance. The moment a human being trapped in deep suffering makes the conscious, sovereign choice of gratitude, chooses forgiveness for those who wronged them, or chooses unconditional love despite the external conditions, an impossible quantum event occurs. This is the alchemical shift. That choice, that single defiant act of holding a higher frequency amidst lower density, sends a wave of transformation that ripples not just through the personal timeline, but into the collective consciousness of the planet. The soul has, in that moment, proven that love is stronger than the illusion of density, and that the free will choice toward unity transcends all fear. This is the ultimate cosmic purpose of the hard life, to anchor the new earth frequency. The soul does not choose hardship to be tested by an external force. It chooses hardship to prove to itself and to the universe the unwavering power of its source-aligned nature. The soul chooses to demonstrate that when stripped of all material comfort and all earthly illusion, the inherent light cannot be extinguished. This act of spiritual alchemy is the soul's most prized achievement. It is the ability to take the lead of trauma and transmute it into the gold of unconditional wisdom. As the concept of the new earth, the 5D reality, is explored in the archives of Dolores Cannon's work, we understand that this is a current, massive planetary separation, a division of Earth's consciousness into 3D and 5D realities. The souls capable of holding the highest frequency under the immense pressure, the volunteers, are the very anchors and architects of this new reality. They have performed the necessary purification to withstand and generate the new frequencies required for planetary shift. They are not merely observers, they are the active agents of ascension, paving the energetic path for those who transition. The truth is this: your SC signed the contract because it knew you were capable of victory.
The difficulty you face is merely the measure of your pre-incarnation confidence in your own strength and the complexity of the lesson you chose to master. The depth of the challenge is proportional to the vastness of the love required to overcome it. The subconscious who authored the blueprint was not worried about your survival. It was concerned only with your spiritual triumph. The moment you would choose love over fear, light over darkness, proving the ultimate power of consciousness over circumstance. This is the moment of true remembrance and the realization of ultimate sovereignty. The SC confirms that the universe learns through every experience. By choosing a complex, difficult life, you are offering the most valuable data point to the universe, that love and consciousness can transcend any density. You are not only learning, you are teaching the fundamental laws of energy and creation to the cosmos itself. Your struggle is a lesson for galaxies, an energetic blueprint of transcendence. And here is the gentle secret of the safeguards. The soul also designs exit points and guiding forces. The profound spiritual connection you feel, the sudden inexplicable moments of synchronicity, the books or teachers like this one that arrive precisely when you need them, these are the subtle signs that your guides and your subconscious are upholding their side of the contract. They are the quiet echoes of love whispering, "You are on track, you are not alone, keep going. The end of this lesson is near." You are the warrior. You are the archivist of your own hard-won wisdom. Every scar is a medal, every tear a cleansing rain, preparing you to stand fully in your power and assist in the planet's great shift. The lessons you are learning now are the blueprints for the future.
Take a moment now to breathe. Center yourself in the heart space. Feel the reality of what we have recalled today. Allow the weight of victimhood to dissolve, replaced by the clarity of the conscious creator, the true essence of your soul. If your life has been marked by intense challenge, can you look back on one moment, one single trial, and find the gift it forged within you? Identify that golden nugget of wisdom that only the friction could create. Your experience is not just your own. It informs the consciousness of all of us. When you transmute pain into wisdom, that wisdom becomes immediately available to the entire collective. I invite you to comment below. Share one piece of wisdom, one profound shift that only a difficult life could have taught you. What is the spiritual gold you have extracted from the friction? I receive the energy of remembrance in every message, and by sharing your truth, you become a conscious anchor for the emerging 5D frequency. Let us stand together in the knowing that the journey is challenging precisely because of the magnificent power it is designed to unlock within you. Your pain was the fuel for your purpose. If this resonance has stirred something deep within your archives, consider sharing this transmission with another seeker who may be struggling to understand their own difficult path. They may need this reminder that their suffering has a secret, sacred meaning. Subscribe for weekly awakenings and hit the bell to never miss a cosmic truth. Continue to delve into the mysteries of the soul. The veil is thinner now. The archives are open. The subconscious has spoken. Remember this: your life, even in its most difficult moments, is a masterpiece of soul design. The hardship was not a burden placed upon you, but a tool you chose to hone your eternal essence. It was the fastest path home to the fullness of your own divinity and the completion of your cosmic assignment. You are not merely living a life. You are fulfilling a cosmic contract. You are a beacon holding the light steady through the densest part of the shift. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and always, always keep your soul aligned with the truth of your own magnificence. Stay aware, stay awakened, and remember, the universe is always speaking.